And we're going to start letting people into the meeting.
All right.
Okay. Got some. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. So just monitoring the waiting room. It is 12:45, so we want to start promptly on time. So welcome. Thank you for coming. We're going to give you some beginner tips to get yourself started with Google Sites. I would like to make mention of one thing. If you're pretty comfortable with what we show you and you're looking for some of the advanced features, the high school call tomorrow, led by Wendy Jaworski and Brian Finnegan.
And me.
Oh, and you, Josh, sorry. And Josh, they're going to be going over some of the advanced tips and tricks with Google Sites. So just because it says high school doesn't mean you can't go on there. We're all friendly on the playground, so feel free to jump in on that call. So real quick, let's talk school wires to Google Sites for just a moment. I just want you all aware that, number one, you do not have to clear off your school wires page. You can leave your school wires page up. You don't have to take anything off of it. You don't have to delete all the stuff that's on there. You can just leave it. You should take all necessary links and materials that you would like and take them off of your Google site, or excuse me, pardon me with the going back and forth between the two terms. You're going to want to take everything off your school wires page that you want to keep, links to textbooks or instructional videos or anything that you want to keep. You're going to want to take it off and put it on a Google site by June 15th. That's what we were told. We want to make sure that we communicate that to you. That doesn't mean you have to publish. We'll get into this in a moment. That doesn't mean you have to publish your Google site. You can just kind of keep it all in the site. And then when you're ready in September, you hit that blue publish button and it goes live out to the internet for everyone to see. So we just want you aware that, you don't have to scramble and get everything done for the end of June. We're working on the transition to Apogee, and there's teacher sites involved with that, but you can link directly to your Google site, which some teachers are doing already anyway. So Vinny and Josh are going to give you the rundown of everything. Myself and Jamie Gross will be in the chat. If you have any questions at all, please throw them in the chat down there, and we'll be more than happy to address those questions as we go. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we get started?
Joe, will these Zooms be published to us? Are they being recorded?
Yes, they are. We're going to publish, as you've probably seen from the schedule, we're doing multiple calls for each grade level each day. We're going to choose the ones that probably went the best, and we're going to put them on the site. And they should be up by more than likely Thursday afternoon or Friday morning.
Okay.
One more thing, there is tentatively the Summer Tech Academy is planned for August. Of course, as we know, everything in the universe is up in the air. But there will be a class on Google Sites if you want to do some more in-person, hands-on type of training at the Summer Tech Academy at the end of August. Not sure on the dates yet, but just to make you aware. And there's always the Woodbridge Township sites that have been built. Jamie just threw a link to the middle school one in the chat. And I'd just like to show everyone real quick. I'm going to share my screen for just a moment.
Will Summer Tech Academy be virtual?
Great question. I wish I knew the
Good answer.
everything. Yeah, no, I know everything's kind of up in the air right now.
Who knows?
I just want to show you something real quick in Google Chrome. So if you can probably see my screen now, right up here where it says WTSD-NJ bookmarks. This is on everybody's Chrome web browser, provided you are logged into your WTSD-NJ account. If you click on the bookmarks, you're going to see elementary, middle school, and high school distance learning PD. Those are the distance learning professional development sites that have been built by each level. I know Jamie's on the call, but she has done a just absolute extraordinary job with keeping this organized, with constantly updating it with new resources. There's just so much stuff on here. So if you're looking to fall back on something, if you're looking for, how to create your Bitmoji and do your Bitmoji classrooms, all this
That's
stuff.
actually a link to the elementary site. So what Mr. Vitale just demonstrated for you is one of those advanced features where instead of creating pages, you can link out and it looks like it's a page in your site. This is my cat. It looks like a page in your site, but it's actually a link. So instead of, I didn't need to create a Bitmoji page because the elementary school teachers created an amazing Bitmoji page. So I just linked to there. So getting
nice.
ahead of ourselves, but yeah, you can do some really cool things. Co-teachers can link to each other's sites.
Yeah, we're going to show you some of those
It's cool.
some of those features to get you started. But just so you know, that's where you'll find this call later. That's also where you will find additional information about the multitude of different things that are available to you as a teacher in the Woodbridge Township School District. All right, so I'm going to throw it to my favorite Mets fan, Vinny Romano. Our team's undefeated, Vinny. Yeah, we're undefeated. And also, while we're at it, if you could make sure that you have muted yourself, that would be great. And we're going to get started. All right, there, Vinny. It should be all yours.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Hope everybody's doing well. Josh and I are going to do a run through on getting your Google site started. We're going to keep it relatively simple and just preface this by saying it's not difficult. From prior experience, when I first started teaching, my first website was a Google site about 10 years ago, and it was not user-friendly and not the most professional looking. Things have come a long way in recent years, so it's relatively easy to make a professional looking website. We're going to start off by just going through our bios. So Josh, do you want to talk about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I love talking about myself. So I have a bachelor's from Rowan, a master's from William Patterson. It's actually, I just am finishing now my 5th year of teaching, so I'm still relatively new to the game, but I think I know quite a bit. I'm one of the co-advisors for the coding club of the Geography Bee at IMS. I'm also one of the marching band instructors over at JFK. I'm a proud husband of a school counselor and a father of kittens, and I have a lot of weird interests.
All right, my name is Vinny Romano. This is my 12th year as a middle school math teacher. I'm the IMS subject area leader for math. I've taught at the Woodbridge Township Tech Academy several years now. I'm the IMS boys cross country coach. I have my master's in educational technology. Last summer, I was certified as an educational supervisor and principal, and I'm a big fan of photography, cooking, traveling. I've spent a lot of this quarantine time cooking, so I guess if there's a silver lining in any of this, that's one of them. I'm working on my Google Certified Educator Training certification at the moment. So please keep yourself muted. If you want to participate or you have a question, you could put it in the chat. You can raise your hand as well. If you want it to be a question that goes to the entire group, make sure the question is sent to everyone in the chat. Sometimes it's set to just go to one person. So, just be careful about that. So the purpose of having a Google Sites is to more or less replace your SchoolWires account. But I'm going to, say that I think the aesthetics of the Google site and the functionality is going to be highly enhanced versus the SchoolWires page. It's going to allow you to keep in touch with your students and their parents, but you're also going to be able to make it more personalized from an aesthetic standpoint, and also you're going to be able to upload Google documents and sheets and forms very seamlessly, with minimal effort. So not only are we replacing the SchoolWires accounts, but we're also enhancing them. Mr. Case, myself, and several other teachers have created their sites already. So those are all available in this slide that we're viewing right now. And this slide deck will be shared with you. So if you want to go on and view those sites at a later point in time, you can do that just to get inspired and get some ideas. I did take some ideas from some of the sites that I saw. So that is definitely something you could tap into. We are going to kind of get away from this presentation because I think seeing the steps in action is the best way to learn. So we'll be bouncing back and forth, but we're going to be focused on creating your site, inserting pages and the formatting of those pages, publishing and updating the pages, inserting Google Suite files and Google Calendar. So we'll be tapping into these main topics that you see on the screen right now.
So first thing is creating the site itself. So there's two ways to do this actually. I think the easiest way is simply to go to sites.google.com, which Vinny has open on his screen, or is opening now. And then you can click that plus sign to create a blank site. There's also different formats that you can do, class, club, student portfolio. It's probably easier just to create a blank site, honestly, because you have more control over that. So we're creating the site now. Now, naming your page where it says the untitled site up on the top left, you can name it whatever you want. Simply go and edit. This works a lot like any other Google Doc where you can just edit and it automatically saves, although you do have to publish it, which we'll talk about later. And then at any point, if you want to see what the site looks like from a viewer's perspective, you can click on the icon that looks like a phone and a computer. You can see different modes this way. You can actually see desktop mode, you can see mobile mode, you can see tablet mode, and you can actually preview your site before you publish it.
So this would be your smartphone mode, tablet, computer.
Yeah, you would definitely want to check all three modes because what looks good on a desktop mode might look really cramped on a mobile mode. And you want to make sure that you're able to view it effectively in all three modes because let's be honest, our students are going to be viewing it on their phones more than anything else. So that's the first way to create a Google site. The second way is simply to go into your Google Drive and click the plus sign where it says new. And just like creating any other Google G Suite doc, you can go to more, and you can actually create your Google site right in your Drive. And when you create your Google site, it's going to be linked to your Google Drive. You'll be able to access it and edit it that way. Now, likewise, you'll only be able to embed things from your embed Google G Suite docs, forms, etc., from that Google Drive. We got that question before in a different session. Can you embed things from other drives? No, you really can't unless it's made public and you use a link.
And from this page, you're also going to want to put a heading for your homepage. So the most logical title to use, would be a repeat of your site's name. I like how it gives us these the spacing bars that you could see that kind of pop up when you start stretching out text boxes. So you could kind of see if your text box is centered based on these, it's kind of hard to see, but you might be able to see them. These vertical lines that go down the screen. So you could kind of pair up and see if it's spaced out appropriately on both sides. Now, I created my own site, and I kind of stole an idea, so feel free, to steal ideas. But I created an image of a virtual classroom, and that is my homepage. That is a big part of my homepage. So this was created in Google Slides. And I am more than willing to help people create this for their site. But basically, it's a Google Slides that incorporates images of a floor and wall image, a chalkboard, a number line, an inspirational quote, a couch, and My Bitmoji, which is a Google extension. Bitmoji has its own Google extension, so it allows you to upload your Bitmoji that you've used for other purposes right into Google products. So, you know, for the purposes of adding your Bitmoji extension, it's quite simple. So I'll just quickly show everyone how to do that if they are interested. So just by searching in the Chrome Web Store, and adding it, I'm actually not working in Chrome, I'm in Safari, but you could just simply
And the Bitmoji is just one way to do it. You can really design your site any way you want. I designed mine kind of with a space theme. If you go to it, it's all up to you. You have a lot of creative freedom with this, a lot more than I think Schoolwires had.
All right, so if you were to search for Bitmoji in the Chrome Web Store, it's going to show up as your first search result, and I already have it, and it's this icon right up here. But if you didn't have it, obviously you'd be able to add it to Chrome. Just to sidetrack for a quick second here, and this is the image that I used to create that image that's on the homepage of my website. So it's simply a Google slide incorporating, you know, some different images from the web. And then I took a screenshot of this and uploaded it to the homepage. All right, but back to creating our site. So once you have this first page created, you could either start tweaking this homepage or you could start adding additional pages. But there's also a function that's called themes. So this is an overall theme that you could use, a function that you could change the theme for your entire website. So there's some basic colors here, or you could have a custom color. All right, so you would choose the color that you want to predominantly be used for your site. And then there's also different font styles. So it more or less just gives your site an overall theme, an overall look that, you know, appeals to you. So there's no right or wrong one to use, but you would just simply choose the one, and it's going to basically be used for the entire site. So it's a quick, easy change to customize your personal Google site. After you have your homepage established and you choose the theme, you're going to click on Pages. And from here, you're going to be able to add additional pages to your website. And the way that you would do that is clicking on this plus sign right here. And, you know, you would choose the other subpages that you want to be a part of your overall Google Sites page. So just by clicking on the plus sign, typing in the page name, and clicking Done will automatically create a second page for your website. It's also going to populate along the toolbar up at the top here.
And that's great for putting things like your grading policy, any kind of objectives or rules that you have for your class, your bio. It does a lot of the same things that Schoolwires would do, but you can also add them just like you would the regular homepage.
All right, so within a couple clicks, we already have 3 pages to our website. All right, if you want to rearrange these, you simply drag them on top of one another or below the other one, and you'll be able to change the order in which these pages fall on your site. All right, from here, once you have your pages established, you're going to want to work on adding content to those pages. So to do that, you're going to click Insert and make sure you're on the page that you want to work on. So I just think my homework page will have a little bit more customization than the Woodbridge Township School District grading policy. So once I'm on my homework page, if I click insert, I'm going to be able to choose from various layouts that are available. So, you know, if you want a combination of an image and text, you would click this one right here and it would populate that layout. So maybe you want to type something about, you know, the importance of checking homework, or what the students can find on this page, along with an image, which can be added just by clicking the plus sign. You could select it from your drive. You could select it from your desktop. You know, wherever the image is, it could be accessed from. And you have a basic setup that's starting to build on this particular web page. Or you could just stick to a text box. If you don't want a particular layout that's offered here, you could just put a text box. If you want to remove one of those layouts, just hover over it and click this trash can. And then that will remove that setup. So it's quite easy to get it rolling in the right direction.
You can also edit the order of these different layouts. They kind of stack just like the pages would, so you can actually drag them around.
All right, so just to give a little preview of what I have for my homework page, I have an image and I have a layout of how homework should be formatted and what students can find in this section. And then I'll start adding the assignments when we go back to school in September.
So you can also embed a lot of different ways. So you can actually embed straight from your drive, or you can embed using an embed code. So actually on my site, which you don't have to see right now, but on my site, you can actually embed, I actually have both a Google Calendar, which is linked to my Google Classroom, and I have my Remind feed on there as well. And I also have a link to subscribe to my Twitter. So you can embed those using certain embed codes from the different websites. Now, if you're going to embed Remind, just a tip, do not use the Google Sites embed code. That is for the old Google Sites. This is the new one. This is the better one. You want to use the Wix embed code from Remind in order to embed that onto your Google Sites. And I can't guarantee a success, but it worked for me.
All right. So this is where he's talking about here, this embed option. Now that I have it back up, Josh, do you want to summarize that once again?
Yeah, so you can embed by URL, or you can embed by the embed code. Now, certain websites like Remind will actually have in their settings, you can actually copy and paste the embed code. So that's where you do that right here. Now, if you click cancel, Vinny, and then you go to the right over here, and you drag down.
Drag this.
Scroll down.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, you can see that you can embed all sorts of different things: a Google Calendar, Google Docs, slides. You can actually literally put a Google form straight into your page. And actually, Vinny, if you want to show them the one that you have on your page.
Yeah, so simply by clicking the type of file. So I had created a survey for my students in September, a little get to know you survey. So that was created in Forms. So if I want to add that to one of my pages, I'm simply going to click under Forms, and then it's going to offer me the different forms that I've created. And for this one, I would select the first day of middle school one. But just by clicking it, it's going to offer me this option to insert it. And within a couple of clicks, it has populated right on the web page. And I put this on my home page since it's, it'll be a focus of the early days of school. And that would work for any of these other options as well. All right, so scroll under the insert option and then scrolling down to whatever it is you want.
Yeah, you can embed YouTube. I'm going to talk about Calendar in a little bit because I know a lot of people have questions about that. But first, really important, publishing your site. So unlike SchoolWires, this does not publish automatically. It saves automatically in your Google Drive, but if you want to go public, you actually have to click the publishing button. But before you do that, actually, you have to make it visible to the public. So in order to do that, you go to the settings cog up here, up on the top.
Under share?
Actually, yeah, under share, sorry. Published, anyone, it's right now says anyone in Woodbridge Township School District can view it. That's only if they log in using your WTSD account. You want to change that. And you want to see anyone can find and view the published version. That makes it public. And then you click save. That's really important. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to see your site automatically. Now, when you create a change in here, you want to publish it. You want to press the blue publish button up here. And it'll actually show you, well, first, before the first time you publish, it's going to ask you to create your URL, which you can create any way you want. We suggest putting your name or the name of the page and you click publish.
Mine is showing hyphens because I already have one that's created without hyphens.
Yeah.
So now it's live.
And then if you make any changes, let's say that you add a letter somewhere.
Yeah, I'll just put an asterisk just to change something.
Yeah. And then you click publish again. It'll actually give you a preview and ask, basically, are you sure you want to publish this? And then you click publish if you do, or you can go back and make some more changes if you don't feel like publishing yet. But the changes you make are only visible to the public once you click that blue publish button. So you have to make sure you do that if you want your changes to be seen. And we talked about how to review the site.
Go live, it's more or less saying, are you good with these changes?
Yeah, basically it's saying, are you sure? Now, inserting calendars, because I know everyone wants to hear about this. So if you insert a calendar, the cool thing about inserting calendars is that you can actually link them to your Google Classroom. So if you create an assignment with a specific due date on Google Classroom, it will automatically populate into the calendar that you create on this page. So in order to do that, you click calendar. And then you can choose the different calendars from your Google Classroom or from your WTSD calendar to put in there. Once you select them, you click insert, and there you go. And you can see the assignments are already there with their due dates and times. Now, there are some limitations to the Google Calendar. First of all, you can't edit which pages and which classes you see in the calendar. Once it's in there, it's done. If you want to add different pages or delete different pages, you have to delete the entire calendar and start over. Although, as you see, it's pretty easy to do, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
And right here, it's just, this is for the purposes of inserting it on your page. If you want to get an idea of what the students will see and how they'll be able to toggle between the different options, you'll publish it. And from here, we'll be able to, just under the preview or going to the actual site, you'll be able to change the week or the month of what's due. So you're not going to be able to see what the students are going to be able to see from the page where you insert it. You'll have to actually go to the live site. So just keep that in mind.
Are there any questions?
So just in summary so far, to create the site, you can go to sites.google.com and then hit that plus button that we talked about. Right here. Or you could go to your drive and under new, more, Google Sites, it will take you to that same landing page. From here, you're going to add a title. You could add different content and layouts by going to insert, adding different files by scrolling down to the bottom. Change the theme, your overall theme of your site. Add some additional pages. Homepage is standard. Woodbridge Township School District grading policy would be standard. Most people will have a homework, maybe extra web resources, and that could be added just by clicking this plus sign. You could rearrange them by dragging them up and down. And then, you know, just fine tuning it, I guess you could say, adding images, adding appropriate text. You know, it really is easy. You know, so you don't need to be a real technology oriented person to make it look very professional and functional. Do we have questions in the chat at all?
A lot of them have been addressed already. Lisa, I just want to address your question. You asked about making different. I wouldn't necessarily make different sites for different blocks, but you can make different pages on the site.
That's what I meant, Joe. I'm sorry.
No problem. I just want to, just a matter of wording. Just want to make sure, because then you could put, like, you know, if you're teaching, you know, 7th grade language arts and 6th grade language arts, you might have to have different pages for each of those blocks.
Right. That was actually my question. I think I typed it wrong.
Sure. We're also working on some, there are ways to embed your Twitter feed, because I know a lot of people are Twitter users. There's ways to embed your Remind feed that I'm trying to troubleshoot and figure that out.
Yeah, we're actually having
that's right. Josh, I never got back to you. I'm actually working with Mr. Misperi on trying to figure that out. I know you actually responded to my email, and I just forgot to get back to you. Mr. Case is able to do it, and I'm not, but we're using the exact same stuff. So it's a little confusing. We're trying to figure out why. Maybe Google likes Mr. Case better. I don't know.
I'm sure that's it. It's
very possible. But yeah, just to reiterate, if you came on a little bit later, again, you don't have to clear up your SchoolWires page. This is, and as Mr. Romano said, this is a great way for you to get started just with the basics. But you're going to see that there's a lot of different things that you can do within Google Sites as you keep playing around with it. Again, you don't have to publish anything until you are ready. And by the way, you need to essentially be ready if you're going to use this by September, because that's when it'll go live. It'll be linked, you know, just like I would assume it's going to look similar to what like your school's SchoolWires page looks like now, where they click on faculty, there's everybody's name, they click on your name, and it'll go directly to that site. And you'll probably provide the link to your site to whomever it is that updates your school's SchoolWires page. It's probably going to be the same person. So they're probably working all that stuff out. And yeah, I think, you know, if you guys have any additional questions, we're here. If there's anything else you want to ask, we're more than willing to help you guys out.
Yep. If you can contact myself or Vinny or Jamie or Joe or really anyone who has knowledge of this, it's pretty easy to do.
And there's no fear in messing up. You can see how easy it is to delete something once you add it. If you don't want this anymore, you click the trash can and you know, it's gone. So, you know, no harm in trying different things out.
Yeah, it could literally be as elaborate or as simple as you want to make it. You know, you can make pages like, I'm sure, you know, Mr. Case might, or Mr. Case or Mr. Romano might decide to put, like, you know, Mr. Romano might put his cross-country page on there. He could put images from last races and do all sorts of cool stuff if he wants to. So it has a lot more potential, I think, than SchoolWires. And the fact that it links to everything Google is definitely going to make life easier for all of us, because, you know, I think we're all used to that ecosystem by now. That's for sure. And Lisa, you have the guru of all at Ford's Middle School in Jamie Gross. So you can just wave your Chromebook at her and say, "I need help with this," and then she'll come and help you. So.
And again, the beauty of these sites is that you can customize it any way you want, as Joe said. Like Vinny has his Bitmoji on there. I have kind of a space theme on mine. And whatever you want to do is fine, as long as it fits.
We're also working on creating some stock images, like, you know, of district logos and color schemes for schools and stuff like that. Because, you know, Mr. Romano might choose a green that's different than Mr. Case's, so maybe we're trying to have some uniformity, you know? That's something that we're working on. We're trying to figure out a way to do that. There's now, I think, a templates feature in Google Sites that we might be playing around with over the summer. So that's pretty much what the deal is with Google Sites. You can
Yeah.
absolutely, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah. So the banner, if you have like an image like you use for your Google Classroom, if you created like the little virtual classroom like Mr. Romano created, you can put those images in the header, play around with that for sure. You can also add image carousel to your header. So you can delete the text box, create an image carousel to like cipher through, you know, like the district websites do now, where at the top of the page is like the image is always changing. You could drag your image carousel up into your header and have that a similar effect. That's it. Yeah, any pictures you want, pictures you find on the internet. Pictures of student work. So if like you know you're an art teacher, or you know like I teach coding, but my kids do creative coding, so they're creating art with code. So like I'll take screenshots of those things and put them in an image carousel. So it's like a virtual bulletin board essentially. So their work is displayed, and you can have that up and running like on your overhead projector when your class is running, so like they can see other kids' projects and stuff like that. So or just take pictures of them with like your phone or your iPad. So the image carousel is a really cool tool.